Welcome to the Mind of Reese podcast. I'm your host, Reese Hilburn, tattoo artist, tattoo shop owner, and spiritual tattoo business coach. Basically, your all-around tattoopreneur. Here to bring you all things tattoo business, marketing, mindset, manifestation, and spirituality. This podcast is meant to help you expand your mind and up-level your tattoo business. I am so excited that you are here. Guys, welcome to another episode of The Mind of Reese. Today, I would like to just get into what I learned in the 2 weeks that I decided to take some time off the social media and how that really brought me into embodiment into my own brand and what all the juicy downloads that I received from that. Before we get into that though, I would like to just say if this is your first time here, or if you've been here and you really love this podcast, please go ahead and let me know by sharing it on your stories. I really get super duper fucking stoked when people are feeling the vibe, they're feeling activated when they're in this space and here with me and sharing some experiences, and I love that so much. Also, just a quick update on the things that are happening in my realm is that Inspired Academy is now open for pre-enrollment, which is so exciting because this is my 8-week course for intentional tattoo artists who are looking to build a wildly successful tattoo business utilizing strategic and energetic alignment through social media. So I help you navigate the social media, the mindset, the clarity, the whys, how to utilize certain features on social media so that you can use it to strategic advantage into your own alignment and how you'd like to see fit, and then to automate it all at the very end so that you are saving more time for yourself so that you can continue to be the embodiment of your brand. And so if this is something that you've been excited about doing, I am offering, I think, about $333 off right now. So you definitely want to get in on the early bird special. This ends July 20th, which is in 2 weeks if you're listening to this in real time. So I am just so excited to be offering that to you. I also have one VIP spot left. So if you're feeling the call, if you are an intentional tattoo artist, spiritually driven and infused into your business and really want to create a holistic, balanced business, but also extremely successful and basically collapse time between where you are and where you want to be in your goals, whether it be financially or whatever it might be, as an opening up a shop or just really expanding on social media and just needing a little bit more hands-on support and celebration and accountability, I am your gal. So I have one more spot left for that. If you are into it and you're feeling the call, you can go ahead and take on a value phone call with me and we can see if we are the right fit. So that being said, that is going on in my realm. Let's get on with the episode. And so today, like I said, I wanted to talk to you about what the 2 weeks had meant for me and how it really, oh my gosh, it was so necessary. I actually made a post about it saying, and the tagline, the hook line was, intuition made me do it. And it was true. I was in the middle of a meditation and all of a sudden I just heard in my intuitive being, in my intuitive body, my spiritual body, that it was take 2 weeks off. And I was like, wait, why? Because normally as artists or creatives, we take 2 weeks off because of the fact that we're oh, I'm burned out. I just don't feel like being on social media, la, 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 la. And it's been a really long time since I've been burnt out, but it's definitely one of those things where I'm just okay, I am a spiritually led woman and I know that my intuition does not steer me wrong. If I continue to cultivate that relationship with my intuition, I will continue to lead with balance. Because with balance, to me, leading with intuition means being more in my feminine, being in the understanding that things are coming to me, that I am attracting the things I want in my space. I don't need to continuously do things. I don't need to be productive in my mind, basically always in my head about how to get to the place I need to go, and trusting that the how will come and surrendering the outcome, and just knowing that no matter what, everything is for my fucking highest good, and I will reach my goals. I will quantum leap toward my goals, which I will say, with that being said, it's I'm in the middle of like launching things, I'm in the middle of creating things, and I'm just like so excited to share that message with everyone. So to take 2 weeks off just didn't, like, in my mind, my egoic mind was just like, no, don't do that. You're feeling the vibes, like continue to send it, continue to share your message, continue to invite people in your space, continue to do all the things. And again, keyword there was do. And of course it was coming from my egoic mind, where that part of me, the societal conditioned part of me, the part of me that has been raised on patriarchal society, which is, do more, you're worth more. Continue to do the thing, you will get to where you want to go. And I just don't believe in that anymore. I'm realizing how much more I don't believe in that. And so I said yes to my inner wisdom. I said yes to me. I said yes to my feminine energy. And I took the 2 weeks off. And it was really tough the first 3 days, I got to admit, because I didn't only just take the 2 weeks off. I literally just was not on the platform. Like, I just didn't look at it. I wasn't checking my analytics. Like, I wasn't scrolling. I was like completely off the grid of knowing what was happening in the world. And it actually ended up, when this happened, was on the day that Roe versus Wade went through. And I was like, oh, intuition, you love me, because I am an intuitive being and so empathetic. And as an empath, I do tend to take on feelings of the consciousness. And even without knowing what was happening at the time, I could feel the heaviness in my body. And I was like, I know this isn't mine. I know this heavy weight is not mine. So I don't know what's happening, but I'm trusting intuition and la la la. And then obviously I heard what was happening and I was like, oh, okay. And on a side note, when it comes to that and what my beliefs are about that, I just want to say that this is the moment of empowerment. This is the time for the feminine energy to rise. And I'm not talking about the feminine energy of women taking over. I'm talking about feminine energy that is within all of us, as well as the masculine energy, but the masculine supporting the feminine flow. Because there's a paradigm shift in the air, and it's been happening and going slowly for years. And not even slowly, because we're talking like, I really started feeling the vibe, honestly, in 2016. And I've read so many books on this subject, on the feminine essence coming into play here, and the patriarchal part of things starting to die down, and a new paradigm shift and a new way of doing life basically is coming. And I felt it in 2016, and every book I have read from more modern day spiritualists and spiritual empowerment coaches and things like that all started feeling the vibe around 2016. So I am not a coincidence person. I don't believe in them. I believe that, we are all one consciousness. We all are one. We just have earthly bodies that separate us as like turned into like actual beings, but we are all connected. And so this is something that has been happening for since 2016, and maybe even sooner. And it's just like, but I've been feeling it definitely for the past since then. And so when I say this, I'd say that like this is our time. It's because the fear around doing life a new way is scary. It's a fat change, and a lot of people fear change. And this is where the feminine energy of trust and faith in oneself, and really understanding that we do have a voice, and that it is time to rise, and it is time to say our piece, because the medicine that we have within us is the medicine that someone else is going to need to be empowered to do the same thing. And so this is why when it comes to the Roe versus Wade thing, like I see this as an exciting, nervous, time. But just wanted to put my little 2 cents on that. As far as going back to, the 2 weeks off. So the things that I had learned in this time, when I took this time off, and this is why I encourage people that not only to take time off when you're feeling burnt out, honestly, you could live a life with no burnout, with little to no overwhelm. Stress and stuff will always be there, because stress is definitely, it's a quick reactive survival mechanism within your brain that allows you to make quick decisions, in the moment decisions. But when you are so in touch with your intuitive, the stress also, it's just like, hey, I'm feeling stressed here. What do I need to either transmute, move through as far as the feeling of stress? What is causing this? Where is the root cause of this stress? And how do I transmute it? How do I allow it to flow through me so that I can release it and move forward and in my growth, in my business, in my life? These are those opportunities. However, when stress becomes your resonation, when it becomes your vibration, when it's constant anxiety for you, when you wake up and you're just feeling like you're behind or doing the thing, like that's where we really have to shift. We don't want to be living in stress all the time. That's where we need to make the shift on like, how do we utilize our resources and our rituals and our practices to allow us to come back into the body instead of staying in the mind all the time and in our to-dos and into the future and hanging on to the past and things like that. How do we get back into the present moment? And so stress is great for its minimalistic times when you're like, ooh, oh, I feel stress and pressure right there. Okay, good. This is activating me. This means that there's growth on the way. But if it's constant and you live in the stress, that's definitely not where we want to be at. So when I say when I take 2 weeks off, not only for feeling stressed and overwhelmed, of course take those time off, but like when you do it in a space when you're feeling fucking stoked on life, when you're activated, when you're ready to share, when you feel like you're like, what it is you want in your life, it's like, oh my God, there's no time to stop. We don't ever want to stop during that time. But it wasn't actually stopping. So when we can shift the mindset of like, it's not stopping by being. It's not being unproductive by being. That actually, by stepping into the feminine essence of the non-doing, of the self-introspection, of the understanding and flow of creativity. And it's also just really knowing, this inner knowing that you are the prize, that everything's working out in your best fucking favor, always, no matter what it is, even if it's hard. It's like, yes, this is always working in your favor. Having that trust, settling into that trust, feeling in your embodiment, in your body. This is what embodiment means, is to be in your body. And so what this allowed me to do was to revisit my why. It made me revisit my why I'm here, why I'm sharing my message, why. And it came to me the other day that, when I was talking about this with my team, I was asking them, I was like, what are your whys? Why are you tattooing? Why are you here with me? Why are you doing the thing? Because I am about empowerment and growth in my shop. Like, in order to work for me, yes, we got to make moves financially, but I believe in the lifestyle of part-time work, full-time pay. That's my lifestyle. This is what I offer to my artists. We work really hard when we're working, but we also allow time for ourselves because I do believe that everything reflects in your business. It's like love is good for business. Happiness is good for business. Family is good for business. Your dog is good for business. Eating really healthy food is good for business. Exercise is good for business. Chiropractic is good for business. Anything having to do with creating high vibration for you internally that just makes you feel good, that is good for business. Innately what's not good for business, innately what's not good for business. And you also know innately what's good for business. What I mean by that is that innately what's good for you. Innately what makes you feel really good, a sustainable feel-good feeling, not an escape feeling through drinking or drugs or whatever. And I'm not saying those aren't great things too. Just do it within a discernment. Be aware of the reasons why you're doing the thing. Are you escaping a feeling or are you celebrating like, fuck yeah? Because it's all good. You know what I mean? So when I got into my why, the why that I had for me, it was like, I am in this business for a lifetime and a legacy and not a season. that knowing that I can help so many people to where they want to go and leading by that example and being the embodiment of my brand, because I know that when I'm thriving in all the areas in my life, my personal life, my family life, my love life, my financial life, they all correlate with one another, which directly affects my business and its growth. So this was my why. I knew that my purpose was driven by helping people, and that is just always going to, it's innate in all of us to want to help someone, whatever you're doing. So as tattoo artists, you are creating an experience. You are changing the way someone feels about themselves for the rest of their lives through artwork and a tattoo. That is something sacred and something to hold tight to and be very serious about. I love my business because it doesn't have to be. It's playful and it's fun and it's curious and it's creative and it's just all this fun stuff. But I do take it very seriously in the end of the day because I care so much about the planet's consciousness. Like, I care about your mind. And if this is the way that I help heal the world, by healing myself not only, but by helping heal the world, by helping them feel something about themselves, that is huge for me. That is my why. It gives me goosebumps just fucking talking about it. So that's why it's so important that you know and understand your why. In this 2 weeks, it offered me that. It offered me this as this perspective, this almost like, ooh, I really fucking know who I am right now. Like, it's so good. It feels so fucking good. And I'm like, and I own that shit. I am a spiritual woo-woo bitch, witch, whatever you want to call it. And I mean that in all of the nicest and highest of ways. Like, I am a healer. I talk to trees. Like, I also make a fuck ton of money because I'm a magnet to the thing that I want. And the reason why I care about the money aspect is because the more money I make, the more I can help impact others' lives. And that is huge. The more I can produce opportunities for other people. I mean, I'm opening up a shop from 4 to 15. Like, I have another assistant that we just hired. I am also helping so many tattooers navigate their way through social media because it can be so overwhelming, and finding that really aligned place within them to create a balance of legacy, a business of legacy through balance and spiritually infused, aligned strategics and energetics. Like, you hear it from me. Like, I exude my passion in this. Like, I exude so much passion because I believe in the movement. I believe in the thing that I get so stoked to do every single day. That's why showing up online isn't a second job for me. That's why sharing my message, doing tattoos, being with you guys here, doing all the content like on YouTube, TikTok, Instagram, like I get so fucking stoked to share because I believe in it so much. And it's like, I don't need to convince you about any of this stuff. Like, you're here because you want to be here. You're in the vibe, you know? And that's the thing. That's the point, is to be so embodied in your brand that you don't have to convince anyone your worth for your time, your artwork, what they want to get. You are just intuitive and you know. That is the point. And that's what I had learned in those 2 weeks. I was like, I am meant to embody more of myself in this moment. This gives me that time and space that I was utilizing for social media to truly step into my embodied, transformed self. And I will need these constantly because growth is what I seek. And so that was one thing that I learned. Another thing I learned was that my mind is incapable of dreaming what is possible for me because my mind is not as big as my heart. Whoa. I was not ready for that download. I was like, my mind? You're telling me that the things that I'm dreaming up are not from my mind? No. The desires that you have within yourself is a feeling that comes from your emotional body and which exudes from your physical body. That's not from your mind. What's happening in your mind is that you're creating the story from the feeling that you're receiving from this desire that, oh, this is the dream that I want. when really it's the feeling of fulfilling that desire. And so what I realized, that the feeling inside of my heart overpasses 10x's any story my brain can conjure up to create this feeling within my body. Mind fucking blown, right? So the desire is the feeling. The mind is just creating the story, what they think the desire is. And you receive that, you receive those stories from external, obviously you can't be like, I've always wanted to be a tattooer. Like innately, I always knew I was creative. I just never did anything. I heard intuition telling me when I was very young that paint. And I was like, I'm not a painter. I don't fucking paint. I want to be a finance. I'm a I'm a CPA. I'm an accountant. Like I want to stay in this because I know this is where I felt like fulfillment was in the money. I felt like fulfillment was in the job and corporate work, and so that's what I wanted. And so that's, I negated that feeling. And then one day I did it. And I was just like, well, let's just send it. Let's just go. Let's just paint. And I was actually really inspired by it. And so I listened to intuition in that moment. I quit my job and did all the things. And now I'm here. So it's like, you want to listen to that story? I think there's an episode at the beginning of this of this podcast that you can listen to on how like I got here. But and so it's like these are the desires that we have, and obviously the stories that get created are from what we experience, what we see, what we smell, what we feel. Like we're still in the 3D realm of the earth. We're still an earthling. So it's like we still need to have like the human experience of understanding like where this desire comes from, and we feel it. We create the story. So for me, it was like, okay, I feel the desire to become an artist. So I became an artist. And then I was like, as an artist, I was creating and doing all the things. And then through being an artist, I was like, I'm really fulfilled by this, but there's something still missing. So I continued to follow intuition. And then I started getting into spirituality. I had my biggest breakthrough in 2016 through my spiritual awakening, one of them anyway. And so it's just like, I was like, whoa. So then I became like a yoga instructor. I did yoga teacher training and really stepped into my yogi spiritual alignment in that way. But I found fulfillment in the spirituality, but I didn't find fulfillment in teaching yoga. So I was like, okay, so yoga teaching is not for me. I still want to be an artist, but for some reason I'm feeling stuck or whatever, lost. And then all of a sudden I started to feel the call to teach, I didn't know what I was going to teach. Are you kidding me? I was like, a coach? What? I don't want to quit my job as a tattoo artist, but how do I coach anybody in tattooing? Like, I don't want to teach tattooing. That just doesn't call to me. And then I just started just trying and doing and then figured it out. And so it's like, you could have never told me that I was going to be a coach 7 years into my business, and now I'm a 3-year I've been almost a tattoo business coach for 3 years. So it's like, still baby in the realm of like time, quote unquote. However, it's like this has been me for so long. I've always been a guide and a teacher in past lives. I just feel that in my bones. Like I just know that innately. And so this is where it comes that your mind is not as big as your heart. So your mind is truly incapable of dreaming up what is possible for you. That's the whole point, is that we are limitless. And when I got that fucking download, I was like mind blown. And so that now it's like when I do lead with my heart and my inner wisdom and my intuition, I am able to collapse time and space like this, meeting my goals so much faster because I am not stuck in my mind trying to figure out the how. I am following inspired action, taking opportunities that are intuition led, that are, I am led by my intuition. I don't just do things, say yes to everything thinking I'm missing out. I do things because I know innately already that whatever path I take is going to get me one step closer to where it is I want to go and I need to go. Because in order to get to where I want to go, I need to go through the lessons that I need to learn in order to become the embodied and evolved, transformed version of myself to even be able to handle the things that I want. And that by becoming that person, by becoming that, by being that person, everything else is a byproduct of that. So money, things, living on the beach, tattoo shops, really excited, hungry leader, artist working with you, a great community, traveling the world with your tattoos, television shows, things like that, magazine covers, being invited to, some of the biggest tattoo shops and getting to guest spot there, like Inked Magazine or whatever, and traveling all over the world, like I said, and all of the things, sponsorships, all of those things are just a byproduct of who you are being. Yes, it's great to have the goal. It's great to have the direction, but don't stay so blinded on that direction that you miss out on the other opportunities that are actually going to get you there faster, because we always are trying to fill the gap. We're always trying to make our mind solve the issue on how we get from point A to point B without faltering. If we falter, we don't like change. We don't want to change course. We don't want to course correct. We don't want to do it. But that's when we allow our masculine to be involved, and we shove down the feminine voice, our intuitive voice. When we're shoving down that intuition, it's going to take us a lot longer to get there, and we wonder why it's so hard. We wonder why it's so hard and so grueling, and why is this happening to me? And it becomes a victim mentality and all this stuff. And it's just to get out of that, you have to be open to the possibilities that there are going to be other pathways to take in order to get to where you want to go, and that you can actually quantum leap from here to there much faster if you were open to accepting and faith that you co-create with this universe, that energetically you are going to be a match to the thing that you want when you have faith in yourself. That you are going to get there no matter what. You're like, I know I'm going to get there. Here are the plans on how I believe I'm going to get there. But I'm also open to divine timing, to divine course correcting. Hey, if intuition, if spirit, if the universe, God, whatever you want to call the higher being that is a part of us, how liberating is that we have someone always or not even as someone, as some sentient entity that is constantly just has our back. And for me, I believe it's my intuition. I believe it's me. I believe it's the consciousness that is inside of me. It's the observer. It's the one that makes us one. You have a mind, body, spirit aspect, the triangular aspect. You have your mind, your body, your physical body, and then your spiritual body, which is inside of you. I believe, I could call myself, that entity within me, my higher self. It could be God. Not necessarily outside of me. I believe that all of our inner wisdom is inside of us. And so that's what I mean by allowing that trust and faith in your own inner wisdom, that you actually know where you're meant to go, because your soul's mission, your soul's contract on this planet is I'm meant to do this thing, and I already know how to get there. I'm just having to have a human experience for getting all the things, and just basically finding my way back to myself so that I can accomplish the things that I need to, so that the next souls around me can also basically fulfill their soul's contract because I fulfilled mine, they're able to fulfill theirs. That's the point. It's when you thrive, we all fucking thrive. Why is that not a thing that anybody wants to not believe in? I'm full sending that. I believe that innately. I feel that in my whole body when I say that out loud. I will not falter. Nobody could talk me out of it. It's just not gonna happen. It's too fucking juicy, and it feels too good and positive in my body to believe that. So why not? And it's absolutely true for me, because I look at my external world filled with fucking beautiful plants and a wonderful fucking dog and beautiful family, and where I live on the beach, and I get to co-create with this earth, and I get to share this inspiration with all of you guys out there. So it's of course I'm gonna believe it, because I am a byproduct of that belief. Because I am that, because I believe that so much, everything outside of me is a reflection of that. So that, people ask me how I'm so happy. It's because of that belief within myself. And it wasn't easy to believe that. Let me tell you, it's hard. It's fucking hard. You can tell yourself to believe it, but to embody it is a different thing. To truly, innately, in your root, believe it. Because in order to believe something, in order to believe it in your core, you have to release the other things that are in your core that are blocking this belief, that are limiting the belief that you are limitless. Because there are beliefs within us that we experience through our human experience, through our lifetime, that will tell us that that is not true. Because societal conditioning, whatever your parents believed were real for themselves, whatever your friends believed are real for themselves, high school, child stuff, whatever, all the things that you've experienced have shaped you into the person now. Ancestral, genetic, like all of the, being a woman in this day and age, if you're a woman or a person of color, that also has a weight on your core beliefs. So the thing is that the 2 weeks allowed me to give myself that time to not only embody, but to feel through the triggers, to feel through the wounds, turn those wounds into wisdom, which creates more space for me to hold within me, and then allows more things to come to me and I can hold outside of me. You could not have told me that I could not trade my time for money. You could not have told me as a tattoo artist, I was like, there's no way that I get capped at where my income comes from because I trade time for money. I'm only a tattoo artist. And not only that, and I'm not only a tattoo artist. I don't want to, that's not a belittling thing, but I didn't expand myself. And if expanding yourself is not in your realm, is not in your passion, does not feel into your body of desire, this is not your desire to do this. However, I'm sure if you're listening to this, there's a guide within you. There's a mentor within you that really, really feels this. But if right now it's not that, it's like also just having more time for me. When I was only tattooing, I felt like I had no time for shit. I didn't have time for family. I didn't have time for me. A dog? Are you kidding me? I would have never even thought about getting an animal. I got a cat because they're independent. Like, there was no way I could ever get a dog. I was doing everything on my own because those limiting beliefs limited me, telling me that I only could be one thing. And as a tattooer, I had to do all the things in order to not only feel productive, to feel worthy, and to keep my money, because I can't afford to hire an assistant. That was my thought process. So I had to learn to let go of those beliefs, to not only let go of the beliefs within me, I also had to release my money beliefs, because once I started to look at money as a tool and started to spend it and to utilize it to support my growth, I invested in myself. I changed the words around. Instead of being like, I'm spending so much money on things that make my life easy, like this, I can't do that. I had a really gnarly I was like a chronic saver mindset, and it was like I was hoarding my money and so afraid to lose it when it's not mine to begin with. Like, I can't take it with me wherever I go when I die. So why not? And now, oh my gosh, the more I spend, it 10x comes back to me. It's like insane. And I know I don't even need to spend it to 10x it coming back. But when I realized the investment in myself that I was creating for myself, that energy was only causing more of that attraction energy. I was a money magnet. To where now, we do have financial goals. I have super gnar financial goals for myself and whatever, but that's not the end game. I could give a shit if if that's the outcome that I get. It's the becoming of the who I need to be in order to be the person that thinks like a millionaire, that understands that this is totally possible for me, that this new normal is okay. There was no way you could have told me I was making 50K months in all of the things that I'm doing. No way. No way. I was like, I'm capped at 20K months by working 6 days a week, I collapsed time with that. I only work 3 days a week and still make 20K months. So it's like I understood what my worth was. It was like the investing in myself opened up so many things where it allowed me to release all those triggers, those limiting beliefs, so that I could hold more. I could hold the real true beliefs within me that I am a limitless being, that I am a money magnet, that I can do whatever it is I put my heart into when I'm passionate, when I'm activated, when I'm alive. And when I'm in my purpose, when that means I'm in my purpose, I mean that I'm constantly thinking of how I can bring value to you guys, how I can bring value to my community. When I lead with my heart, I am limitless. I get to release these triggers. That's why it is so hard. This shit is not for the faint of heart. This work is not for the faint of heart. It's definitely one of those things where, like, there's a lot of uncomfortability that you live in every day. You live in it every day. You're always questioning, because once you become aware, you can't go backwards. It's like once you become aware and you have the resources to start really helping you, like, you can't go backwards. It's so tough. It's like, man, I just wish I remembered this, like, when I didn't care and I just drank all day and I just kept my head down and worked 6 days a week, but like I could never go back. I'm a limitless human being, and I love that vibe, and I want to be in that belief. But with that belief, in order to truly embody the beliefs that I want to have, I have to release the old beliefs that no longer serve me. And that is hard work. It is hard work. So that's why, that's another thing that these 2 weeks had given me. Another thing was that I really didn't know, and this was another download I had during meditation, and I was doing like my little interpretive dancing. I think moving energy through you through intuitive dancing is just wonderful, and I'm not a great dancer, but I just love it, and I put on a show for my dog all the time. But another thing I realized is that, like, I'm not outsourcing my safety in the money or the business either, that I have all these things coming in. But the reason why I know I'm no longer hoarding the thing, I'm not hoarding my artists that are working for me. I'm not hoarding the money that I receive. I'm not like, I understand, I believe it innately that by hoarding anything is only going to cause pressure of abandonment. And these are the wounds that I desperately needed to heal, because I have, of course, like many of us, have our own experiences with feeling abandoned, and especially when you're a child. And this could be anything from like true abandonment, whether you're adopted or whatever, or, or left behind, or, something of that nature, or feeling just abandoned as an infant. Our brains, our trauma connects us to our infancy. So even if it's like, when we're crying and we just want some sort of attention, and our parents are trying to teach us to self-soothe, and then they don't come to us when we're crying, it's like, oh fuck, we feel abandoned. Like these little things, when you're like, I've had the best childhood, but I still have abandonment issues, I don't know what's going on. It's like these little things can be the reasons why you have these scared feelings of like rejection or abandonment. It's because we've experienced it in some form or another when we were very young, and then continued to experience it later and validate that experience. We were like, oh well, I know they're going to abandon me, so I might as well not even try, or things like that. And so we get into our egoic mind and allow that to lead us. So when I realized I wasn't outsourcing my safety in people, in my business, and anything else outside of me to fulfill the needs that I had within me, because of all of these downloads, all of these things I just spoke about, it brought me to this moment, was that like, oh, I don't outsource. Wow. When did that happen? Had no idea. I'm still working on it. I still feel that, like, I feel that twinge in my stomach and my solar plexus that is like, ooh, Reese, like my ego and my inner critic just wants to be like, I don't know if you truly believe that. We're going to test you out. So, I feel that feeling of like, ooh, lost there, almost like scaredness and nervousness, like, oh my gosh, but we do still feel those moments. And then, of course, I'm going to have my triggers and things that happen, but at least I have the resources to move through them, and to transmute them. And I think that, and it's also just like knowing that, like, I've got me. Again, going back to the belief that I'm limitless and that I've got my own back. Because I do. I don't need anybody else to have my back because I got my own back. Do I love having people having my back? Fuck yeah, are you kidding me? Like, we're humans. We thrive on community and connection. Like, I'm not gonna be like, oh, I'm a person that's like above it all. I'm not. Like, we are spiritual beings having a human experience. We are supposed to we're supposed to marry our spiritual beings, entities, into a human three-dimensional body in a three-dimensional world. And so how do we do that? We have to be in our body, and we have to understand that, like, we do need connection in order to grow. You don't grow without relationships. Yeah, you can grow so much if I'm by myself, alone, whatever. But, like, we grow more with people because they show their mirror images of us, of who we are actually, and what we need to work through if you're willing to be aware of that. And so this is me not outsourcing my safety. I'm not outsourcing my safety, my love, my happiness, my fulfillment outside of me, not through my business, not through my, anything else outside, through my family, whatever, and nothing, not through love, nothing. Because all those feelings I get to cultivate within me. I still get triggered for sure. Don't get me wrong. I'm not some like all-knowing. No way. I still got a lot of shit I got to move through. But it's fun now. It's like exciting. It's exciting to know that I have my own back. It's exciting to know that, like, I know I can get through it. So that's the thing about understanding to not outsource your safety. And lastly, it's like, if it's not bringing me joy, excitement, liberation, orgasms, it's not good for business. Like, let me just tell you, everything in life, it has to be good for businesses. If it's bringing you up a high vibration, remember what that is. Remember the feeling. Don't remember what it is that got you there. Of course, like, for me, it was like, man, I get to spend more time with my family. I get to laugh with them. That brings me high vibe. That is good for business. The time I take outside of my business to go do things for me, especially with meditation, or go to like yoga, or do Chinese tea ceremonies with my acupuncturist, like, or just have communal dinners, lunches, and things like that with friends, or walking my dog out in nature, being barefoot in the sand, hugging a tree, which if you ever see me, you probably see me doing that a lot. I do it a lot, and I'm not fucking afraid of it anymore. I used to be really embarrassed by the fact that I felt like the trees were calling to me. And then I spoke about this to a group of my girls in my mastermind classes, or mastermind, and they're just like, Reese, own your healing abilities, girl. Like, who cares? Like, the trees are talking to you. And I'm like, fuck yeah, yay. It's the community that is like so amazing. So, it's like if it's not bringing me joy, happiness, excitement, liberation, orgasms, is not good for business. So think of it that way. And in this moment, like, it's what's crazy about it all is that, like, in all of this time, the 2 weeks that I allotted myself to reflect on who I am, who I have become, who I was, and really just who I want to be. Like, I get teary-eyed just thinking about it. It's like I just know that everybody out there is meant for the same thing. I know it in my whole being. And for me today, I get to celebrate, like surpassing, quantum leaping. So I'm quantum leaping in my mind, in my own internal abundance, but my external abundance reflects it. So in 6 months, I made $300K in cash. 6 months, that's almost how much I made in all of last year. In 6 months, I made this much money. I am projected to continue to make at least $14K through my coaching business, which I haven't even relaunched any of my stuff. If we keep moving in this direction, I will definitely be on my way to 600K or more. I'm looking for $1 million. My projection in my mind is $1 million. It's crazy to me. You could have never told me that. I was like, what? Me? No. I always knew I was gonna, like, I'm a hard worker. I always knew that I could either wherewithal get there through my wherewithal and then my doing and through fear based beliefs, which is fine. It'll get you here. But what's gonna get you there? What's gonna get you to the balanced, successful business is through operating from love, through operating from the belief that you are limitless, through operating from purpose driven passion. Finding out what those things are, that is what's going to lead you to a more balanced, spiritually infused, extremely fucking successful business. That is where it's at. I've invested over 60K this year in coaches and mentors because I was just like, holy fuck, being in the vortex of other really badass, entrepreneurially spirited people in a room all looking to help each other grow and to support each other. I was like, fuck, this is the vibe I want to create within my shops, within my coaching containers, whether it be through Inspired Academy or through VIPs or through my own mastermind, which I'm going to be relaunching at the end of September. I'll be opening that up. I'm going to have a wait list open right now. The wait list is open if you'd like to get on that mastermind. But it's basically just having a community of people that are just like me, that are spiritual, but know that we want to make some fucking cash so that we can like show in the 3D world that yes, this belief, this way, the way that we are doing things through the feminine essence and allowing the masculine to support the feminine by being and doing, by having balance, that joy, excitement, liberation, and orgasms are good for business. That's the type of business I want to run because I feel good and excited, activated all the fucking time. I don't want to feel like I gotta do something or I should my way through life. I don't want to shoulda, woulda, coulda. I don't want to be like, oh, I should do this. Oh, I should. I used to operate that way. And it got me a lot. It got me to a lot of places, but it also I made a lot of mistakes along the way. Some of them I'm not very proud of. Some of them I know my mistakes don't define who I am, but I still, like, I have to move through those too. Like, some of the things that I've done, some of the things that just, like, the partying, all the stuff, saying yes to things that didn't light me up, but I did it anyway because I was like, I should do this because it could be good for business. Like, I don't want to should my way through anything. I don't want to take an opportunity just because it sounds cool or because, oh, I'll get a lot of attention. That's not the way I operate anymore. And so it was really tough, you know? It was really tough to let that way of life go because everybody operates from that way of thinking, from that old paradigm processing. And I am creating a new path. I want to create a new paradigm thinking. I want to create a new way of doing business. I want to help people understand that there is a new way. That's why I talk about the money. Money isn't the thing that drives me. It's definitely fun and exciting when I get to see it and I get to utilize it and do with it what I will. And how I got that money mindset, I'm actually thinking about teaching a class on that, but we'll see how that goes. But it's like, 300K in 6 months? Are you kidding? Why not make $1 million? Why not make 100K in 1 month? Making 50K months? Why not 100K month? Why not? I didn't even think that I could make 10K months when I first started my tattoo career. Now you're telling me I make 20K months just tattooing 3 days a week, but then I also get to be in my zone of genius of coaching and helping others do the same thing. And then I also get to lead a shop of people that are really motivated and excited to be part of this movement and ready to grow and see all the things that we get to do along the way and support each other along the way. What? I get to invite more people into my tattoo shop because I'm having a bigger space because I decided to say it so. Like, what the fuck? You know, like, it's crazy. So I just want you to know. And I want you to realize that the things that you want outside of you, the external shit, you know, the house, the love life, the community, the tattoo shop, the artists that are like-minded, the travel, all the things outside of you, it flows in as a byproduct of the artist, the mentor, the leader, the fucking person you choose to be. every single day and you show up as that embodied version of you, you will continue to be the energetic match to all the things you want in your life. I get so excited about talking about this shit. It makes me so happy. I just want to say that I love you guys. And if you loved this episode, please, please, please share the juicy medicine to the people that might need to hear this most, might need to motivate you and or to inspire, to motivate, and to be just excited about their life. Even if it's hard, even if it feels like this is so unable, such a long shot to believe. Just to have the seed planted is enough. It's enough. Because one day they will water it. I love you guys so fucking much. I hope you have an incredible day. I can't wait to be back again in the next episode. Bye for now.